So I watched me the other night on Hulu, appearing on Hulu, the latest iteration of, I believe it's Predator number 5, called Prey. Not surprisingly, not actually too bad. Maybe a solid B, perhaps a B minus. As far as these type of movies go, somewhat satisfying. Perfectly reasonable, perfectly decent. You know, if you like this type of thing, you'll probably like it. You should check it out. Now, it may even be so decent, in fact, it may even be the best of the sequels to Predator. Now, keep in mind, if that sounds like high praise, it's not all that high of a bar to clear. The only one that's even anywhere good at all is probably Predator 2. The original Predator, if you don't remember, Arnold Schwarzenegger at the time had a series of like almost near perfect action movies, including the Terminator, Terminator 2, this Predator. And then there's a bunch that are a little bit hokey but pretty fun that he was in. I think Cobra could be in that category. This one, The Predator. Then there's a couple of near classics like The Running Man, and there's a whole bunch of movies that he came out in this period, late 80s, early 90s, where basically, you know, really high octane, really pretty good stuff if you like this type of thing. And this was definitely up there. A lot of people consider it's pretty close to a near classic of this type of movie. And like I said, Predator 2 is halfway decent. The other ones, as far as I remember, it's been a long time since I've seen them, but they're pretty much near unwatchable if they can even be considered at all. They're total junk. So this one's halfway decent. Now, if you don't know the conceit, it's kind of interesting. They decide to set it back in the 1700s during the girl is a Comanche warrior, and it's during the frontier days, and this is a Comanche tribe, and the Predator lands on Earth then. Now, that idea is actually a really good idea, and it breathes some new life into the story. It makes it somewhat interesting. The girl who they get to play the main protagonist is actually really good, really compelling, decent to watch. And there's some halfway decent script development, work on character, and her brother, and things like that. So overall, it's actually, you know, it's not great. It's not absolutely fantastic, but if you like this type of movie, it's definitely up there and worth your time. I enjoyed it. Way better than the other Predators for the most part. The only thing it can be compared to is Predator 2. I think it's a little bit better than Predator 2. Other than that, you know, the rest of them are pretty much junk. So I say check it out, you know. It's definitely worth your time. It's about an hour and a half long. And it's a fun little halfway decent movie. The twist on the idea that you set it in, you know, Indian times, and everyone has bows and arrows and muzzle loading flintlocks that take a long time to load is really kind of interesting and makes it kind of fun. So it's no modern weapons going after the modern Predator. There's a couple of things in there that'll throw you. Somebody pointed out, I think even in the trailer, they have the red lights on the guy because the Predator's taking aim, and he somehow mysteriously knows that means he's about to fire, even though there's no way on earth an Indian would know that. They would have no idea. You know, there's a sequence where the red lights are flashing on the guy, and he looks, and he somehow has the presence of mind, understands what's happening to him, and has the presence of mind to duck. I apologize, I just got interrupted by the phone. Like I said, there's almost no way on earth where somebody way back then would know why red lights are flashing on them and associate it with I'm about to be shot. They just wouldn't have a clue. So that's a little bit outlandish. And apparently this girl is she's a good actress, but apparently she's superhuman. I think she's supposed to be 12, 13 years old. And there's a sequence where she fights about 6 or 7 French trappers and, you know, shreds them, shreds these guys. And she's apparently like, you know, the greatest MMA fighter of all time. She can take on 6 or 7 grown adults and literally demolish them. So that was a little bit outlandish. Other than that, you know, one of my big pet peeves with movies like this is when they start to become cartoon-like. There was a movie recently, The Gray Man, which I'll probably do a review of if people are interested. Overall, I thought it was fun, but the action sequences in that movie start to get really outlandish and cartoonish. People do things that they're just stretching. I'm all in favor of suspending your disbelief while you're watching an action flick, but you can't do it too much. So this one doesn't really test the boundaries of what is entirely possible too much. Only in the one scene where the girl's fighting 6 or 7 French trappers. She just completely demolishes them, and any of them would have killed her. So that wasn't even remotely plausible. But other than that, doesn't really stretch the imagination too far. It's pretty darn good. I mean, it's not great, but as far as these type of movies go, if you like this type of thing, you'll like it. It's an hour and a half out of your life. If you like the original Predator, and if you liked any of the sequels at all, then you'll love this. Because this is, like I said, this is the best of the sequels that I remember being. And again, like I said, that's not all that high of a bar, because a lot of those sequels are absolutely dismal. If I remember correctly, the Alien vs. Predator, which I was really looking forward to conceptually, I don't even think I finished it. I think I just got tired of watching it. So, there you have it, kids. That is all. If Predator movies are your thing, these type of silly action movies are your thing, this is as enjoyable a one as you are likely to see on a streaming service like Hulu. I thought it was pretty good. I'd give it a B, solid B-. If you like this type of thing, you will like it.